Happy February, artists! This outrageous art lesson is called Jim Dine Batik Hearts, and I absolutely love it! So, the essential questions that we want to be able to answer is first, what is batik? So if you've never done this technique, you are going to love it. We also are going to review the elements of art that we're going to be using to create this amazing artwork. And then third, we want to learn about and find out more about the amazing pop artist named Jim Dine, who's the inspiration for this project. Now, we're going to be doing a different version of batik. So instead of using the dye and the wax like the traditional artists use, we're going to be using a very thick piece of mixed media paper. We're going to be using pencil, oil pastels, and black paint. So let's look at our first question. What is batik? Well, the traditional batik is an Indonesian technique of wax resist dyeing that is applied to a whole cloth. This cool technique originated from the island of Java in Indonesia. Batik is made either by drawing dots or lines of resist with a spouted tool. Now, where is Indonesia? Well, let's take a look at the map and see. Indonesia is a country located in Southeast Asia. The capital of Indonesia is Jakarta. And one cool thing about this area is that it has some of the world's most active volcanoes. Okay, so we know what batik is, but who is Jim Dine? Well, I like to call him the King of Hearts. He is a US painter, graphic artist, sculptor, and even a poet. He's considered to be a pop artist, and he was born on June 16th, 1935 in Cincinnati, Ohio. And yes, Jim Dine is still alive and creating art today. Among painting other everyday objects, the heart is an everyday symbol that Jim Dine uses in a lot of his artwork. Here is one of his awesome quotes. "For me, drawing is everything, because it informs everything. It even informs my poetry. It's the way I begin everything." I love that quote and his picture, and a funny fact is he reminds me so much of my dad. My dad had the same beard, he was named Jim, and I just really love Jim Dine. Now we want to look at what elements of art we're going to be using to create our own Jim Dine inspired artwork. Well, we're going to be focusing on line, shape, color, and texture, which is one of the most fun elements of art. Alright, I am totally ready to get started. The first step we're going to do is take our thick piece of white mixed media drawing paper, and we are going to fold it in half vertically and horizontally so that we can create 4 spaces on our page. The next step we're going to do is we are going to use shapes. Of course, we're going to take the shape of a heart. Now, if you don't have any to trace like the ones that I'm using, you could try your best to draw 4 hearts that are the same size and same shape. This is a principle of design called repetition. Now we are ready to move on to color. Using oil pastels, I took red, pink, and all the different versions of red and pink, and I used that to shade in the hearts. Now I tried to add texture underneath my paper, but oil pastels, it didn't work out so great. The next element of art we're going to focus on is space. The space around your hearts is called the negative space, and we're going to try to use different colors of oil pastels to fill in that negative space. I tried to pick cool colors, analogous colors that are next to each other on the color wheel, but honestly I think you could use any colors you want as long as you fill in all the white space. Now it is time for the most fun part of this project. Are you ready for this? We are going to create texture, this time real texture, by crumbling your paper. That's right. I want you to take that drawing that you just spent all that time on, squeeze it in your hands, crumble it up, take out all of your frustration on it. I'm not kidding. Keep squeezing it, rolling it, crumbling it until you have every little piece of that paper bent and whew, yeah. Whew, got a little carried away on that last step, but it is so much fun. Now we're going to take our black paint and our large paintbrush, and we are going to paint over top of the whole surface of your paper. Now, if you're like wondering, what did you just do to your artwork? Well, trust me, it's going to turn out amazing. That black paint acts like the ink in the batik process when you put it onto the cloth. So we're going to take our little drawing over to the sink and give it a nice little bath by washing off most of the black paint, but not all of it. You want some of the black paint to go inside of those little cracks and texture that you created. The last step is to lay your drawing out to dry, and wow, look at that texture. I mean, I loved how this turned out. So we want to look at our drawing and compare it to the texture in Jim Dine's work. It's definitely different, but there are a lot of similarities. So what was the most fun part about this project? Of course, I loved the crumbling. And what would I change next time? I don't know if I would change anything. I just loved the way it turned out. So I hope you enjoyed this project too, and I hope you have a fabulous Valentine's Day.